Hi there, YouTube. It is July 2026. And, this is the weirdest thing for me. But today I decided to look at my old videos from 3 years ago and more. Some of them are even almost 4 years ago. They were all from 2020 and 2021. And I was posting about the 75 hard, about fitness, and about just feeling good. I know that the beginning videos, I talked about being dairy-free for a while. And then I guess I made it dairy-free for almost 2 years. And then I started being completely vegan for a year after that. And somewhere along the way, I don't know what happened. I think it was like 2021-ish. I started to have like really brittle nails and I didn't have a lot of energy. And it was right around November timeframe. I think I was looking for the holidays and starting to rethink this whole vegan thing. So needless to say, my family was done being vegan with me. They were tired of me making vegan meals. My daughter at the time, I think she was like 10. She used to be like, "Mom, is this going to be vegan meat or regular meat?" And she would be like so upset if I said it was vegan. So restaurants were harder to order food that didn't have dairy and didn't have meat. There's a lot of excuses that I have. But all that to say, I quit. I quit being dairy-free. I quit being vegan. And I'm looking at my videos from 3 years ago, and I'm like, what was I thinking? I have really fallen off. I can see it in my face. Or this is I'm walking, so you can't really see me. But my belly has really gotten bigger. Anyways, I was like 150 at my best, probably holding 165 most of the time. Now closer to 190, 195, which is officially the most I've weighed outside of being 9 months pregnant. So I feel gross. I'm definitely going through hormonal stuff. My thyroid's always a mess. I know I have the dairy allergy, so when I do have it, I feel bad. I just don't think my body knows how to like digest it right. And then I also have middle age syndrome or menopause, perimenopause, whatever. So there's lots of things happening. And I went back today and I decided to watch my old videos. Back to that. And it makes me want to cry. Like, I think watching the journey, even though I didn't post every day, I kind of did milestones during the 75 hard. And I did a couple of videos here and there of like what I had learned in my thyroid journey. And same thing with, just like workouts to do and things like that. So I haven't posted a lot, but I did go through and I watched all of them. And it's really different to see yourself when you're watching your own videos back. So maybe I'm glad I made them. And maybe I'll be glad I made this one because, if nothing else, it's my own mental health check and sanity check. But where do I start? I fell off, like I said, and I don't even know. It kind of just spiraled. Like it started out with, we finished 75 hard. Maybe it felt like it was like punishing yourself. And so, you get finished with it and you want a reward and then you want to not restrict yourself as much. And then it kind of turns into, I don't know, I guess sabotage, right? Like you're doing it anyway, even though you don't feel your best. So the last couple of years have been really stressful at work. And then my husband and I also decided it'd be a good time to, maybe mostly me, be a good time to have our own business. So we started Combi Cake Cincinnati. It's been little less than 2 years at this point. So we have a mobile bar, and obviously that promotes some some drinking in itself. But yeah, so it is July. We've made it through the summer, having some fun events. We've both been busy, and we're both back to the office when it comes to work for the most part. I'm in 4 days a week. He's in 4 days a week as well. And then just in general, like, we've kept a lot of things up, but we've lost a lot as well. I think the things that we've kept up is we both get up really early still. So we get up about 5:15, no later than 5:15. He goes to the Y to work out alone, not with me. And I go on a bus, a 5:57 bus that takes me from Kings Island downtown. And then I work out at the atrium downtown. So I started doing that in January, right after my hernia surgery, which we'll get into that in a little bit. But I know I'm recovering from that, so that's probably some of it too. But yeah, so new schedule for the last 7 months. He comes back and gets ready after work. I get ready downtown and then take the skywalk in to Fifth Third. So that's my story. Yeah, like I said, I would say I'm working out, but there's a difference between working out and being on a plan. And I haven't had a trainer for a few years, which I do think makes a difference. And I think you definitely, you can, if nothing else, you get a trainer for accountability, right? They're the ones that are going to say, like, hey, have you had your water? Have you had your workout? Have you done the things? But I think another big thing is whenever you have a trainer or a plan, you're doing a better job, because from week to week to week in that plan, usually it's 4 to 8 weeks long, and you're going to do progressive overload where you're going to lift not so heavy maybe that first week, and then you're going to continue to progress week to week with the same or similar exercises. And I really think that helps a lot. In fact, I would say that is probably one of the biggest keys. And then the second is water. And I have not been drinking water. Like, I went from drinking a gallon a day to sometimes zero. And I don't know what happened. I'm sure it was just a mental thing. I think sometimes it's, your surroundings. I think it is kind of being mad that, like, my husband has been drinking a gallon a day for the last 5 years, probably ever since the first 75 hard. So maybe 3 or 4. And he's staying pretty thin. He's kept the weight off after he was doing 75 hard. And then he also did the, kind of like a keto thing. He was not eating any carbs. So he'll have baked goods. He'll have beer, but he refuses to have a dang tortilla or especially like bread or rice or anything like that. He'll eat a burger and he'll just eat the burger, whatever. So mostly he just likes meat and cheese, and he can pretty much live off of that, which are the two things I feel like are my triggers where my body just doesn't like them. So yeah, I think I've just been mad because he gets up every morning and he chugs his water. It's so loud and obnoxious, honestly. And I think it was just kind of like, you know what? I'm not going to do it. So I quit. And I know that it has impacted me a lot. So I'm trying to get back into it. But I feel like sometimes I'm just lucky to get 40 ounces in, which is me just getting to work and drinking the 40 ounces that I have in a cup or a Stanley. And then not even touching anymore the rest of the day. So not sure what that's about. I'm sure that's a mental thing. Definitely a, stupid thing. And then I think the food is the other. So him doing the no carbs and the meat, me not being successful in the no dairy and the vegan thing, him always influencing negatively with the baked goods, and that usually has dairy in it. So I think those things are really what's doing it for me. But what happened was I had this stupid, what was it called? Like a test where you send in a blood test for all these different allergies. I can't remember the name of it now, but you send it in the mail and then you find out. Well, I was probably allergic to like 30 different foods. And when I say foods, I mean like chicken and egg whites and chickpeas, like so many things. Goat's milk, I knew I was allergic to dairy, cow's milk, all milk basically, except for oat milk. And then lots of like weird things that I know I eat a lot, like, or that I never eat, but I will still want to eat, like curry. Gosh, I'm trying to remember. It was so many things that it was just so disappointing. Some mussels, I think, and like clams. Yeah, anyways, so just a lot of really unfortunate things. So I got that back, and that was maybe 6 months or so into me starting to eat meat. And I think I probably was still dairy free, but I was definitely more like pescatarian / dairy free. And that was mostly to try and get energy back and try to get my, my nails and all of those things back. So that's kind of where it started. And then when I found out I was allergic to all of that, I don't know. I just broke. I was like, I'm watching all these fitness videos. Everybody eats chicken. It's the easiest thing to meal prep. If they don't eat chicken, they eat things like chickpeas. They eat all these things that I can't have. And so I think I really had a mental breakdown, honestly. Like, what am I supposed to eat? I can't be like everybody else. And I struggled. So I think that's where it started. Then, just work has been stressful, not getting up from my desk because my meetings are back to back to back, things like that. So that's pretty normal, I would say, but obviously it's a factor. And I look at my rings and I'm like, gosh, I barely hit them for probably most of the last couple years. I maybe did, 400 is probably about what my move goal has been. My stand goal, I don't even know that I've hit that most days. And then my exercise goal, I've gone through phases, like I said, where the last 7 months I've been working out, right? But not like on a plan. And then 6 or so months before that, I worked out with my neighbor every morning at the Y, and we would take classes. We would do like yoga, Pilates. We did a weightlifting class twice a week where it was called Muscle Max. It was actually great. And it was a plan type of thing where you progressed the same exercises every week. And it would be like a 6 to 8 week series where you'd continue with the same music. But I get burnt out with things. And so I decided, okay, well, I don't want to have to deal with traffic. And I think it'd be better if I get on the bus earlier and then go down there and work out. So that's what I've been doing. But my exercise goal might be 45 minutes instead of the 90 that I was doing during 75 hard. So definitely a lot less. And then I went to the doctor. I kept having this pain on my lower left side. And I also, this is kind of gross, but getting heavier. And I noticed, I didn't know if it was me being heavier or not, right? But I noticed that one side of me, kind of down in like the hip region, was starting to stick out more than the other side. I was like, what is going on? Is it me getting fat? Like, what is happening? Even though I know I'm gaining weight, right? So I went to the doctor. At that time, I think that doctor wouldn't really test all of my hormones, which in hindsight, I wish I could have done that too. I've done that since then. But at the time, I was just like, don't know what's happening. Can you help me? So finally, I go through to a specialist. Finally, somebody believes me about this pain that I've had on my lower left side for probably 14 years since Belle was a baby. And this guy, they do an ultrasound, and it comes back as a hernia on my left side. So forget what that's called, but basically not the kind that's in your belly button. It's like lower than that. So I scheduled that surgery, really thinking like that's the problem. Maybe that's gonna fix everything. And so I had it done in December. I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't sit down for a while. I was probably remote from work for a couple of weeks, which he told me I'd be better. I'd be good in like 7 to 10 days. He was crazy. But yeah, so I had that done. I didn't realize that the older you get and you have surgeries like that, they're kind of a big deal. They go in like above your belly button. So I have like 3 incisions above my belly button. And then he obviously, did some mesh stuff to fix it. So the healing took forever. You can't work out for a while. And then I think it was probably a month without working out, and then 6 to 8 weeks without doing abs. And I was really ready to go back to working out, go back to a schedule. And so I may have gone and tried to do a plank too early because I felt it. And now I feel like I have a hard time with like my posture. And I definitely feel like it's just like uncomfortable in the front. But again, like I don't know if it's the surgery, maybe it was the not drinking water, or maybe it's a compilation of all of it. But I feel it, and I'm ready to make a change. So I think I just wanted to post this video. And I know likely none of you are going to listen to a 17-minute video, but if nothing else, like I said, it'll be a good memory for me to be like, this is what you look like when you have dairy and when you have meat. I don't know if it's from that or not, but it could be. And this is what it looks like when you're lazy and when you're not drinking water, and maybe when you're in your 40s and you're in menopause. I'm not sure. But right now I'm doing a walk for 45 minutes. I'm not really doing the 75 hard, but I am trying to just be more intentional. And it's been 2 weeks, so not very long. I'm going to show you my current situation. Definitely all of this is just not where I used to be. This is where the surgery was, so it still kind of sticks out. And then I have like a lot right here from just where they go in with the surgery, I think. But also where, where you hold fat, obviously, in your midsection as a middle-aged adult, middle-aged woman. But I'm doing this because I want proof of the difference. And I've now started 2 weeks ago back into, I don't want to say vegan. I don't want to call it a name really, but I am trying my best to stay away from dairy completely. I might cheat here and there with real dairy, like not processed cheese. I think feta is something that just doesn't seem to bother me. And we went to a winery a couple weeks ago, and I felt like their more like authentic cheeses was fine. So I might be particular about what kind of cheese, if ever, but I'm certainly not going to have it in like processed food because it's in everything that comes in a package, everything that comes in the pantry, and in a lot of things that you just don't think about, like marinara sauces, which is so silly. It's things that are in a pantry that are not in the refrigerator, that are in a package or a jar or a box or whatever, tend to have dairy. So look at the labels, guys. If that's something that you didn't know, start looking at the back. And you'll be shocked how many things say milk or whey or casein or lactose. I'm really learning like what to stay away from. But yeah, I think lactose is my main one. But my allergy test obviously said goat's milk and cow's milk too. So I got to figure out what those really are, but cow's milk is pretty much the most common ingredient in any food that you can buy. So trying to do whole foods. Haven't had anything like chicken or red meat. Very, very, very little fish, if any. And then I'm trying to live on more whole foods. So nutrient dense. I know people have always said that to me, but I don't think I really knew what it meant. So kale, lettuce, spinach, fruits, vegetables, beans, except for chickpeas. Trying not to cheat too much with that, but I do like hummus. And hummus is a good source of protein when you're not eating any meat. So something to think about. Sometimes you just gotta figure out what works. But I'm tired of punishing myself. I'm tired of comparing my state to my husband. Because he's always, like, ever since he lost the weight, he's always been smaller and he's always been better, don't let him hear that, but better at sticking to the water, for example. He's a big guy, but he definitely drinks a gallon every day, no matter what. He always goes to the gym every single day, no matter what, even if it annoys the crap out of me. And but he eats not very well, and I think that that's pretty common for men, and they can get away with it, right? So for some reason or another, they can have baked goods, they can have ice cream every day, they can do a lot of that, and somehow they can still look like they're not overweight. Meanwhile, me, my face is puffy and round. I have this thing happening right here where like I don't look like I even have a jaw. I think it's swollen right now, but it could be an allergy. I don't know. But it's definitely like always on my left side. Sometimes it'll raise right here in front of my ear where like it will be, very swollen. And then most of the time it's about right here where it just gets really swollen. So that's a mystery. And then, what else? I don't know. I just feel very tired, feel very out of breath, feel very uncomfortable in my clothes. And I do not want to hit over 200. Like it's my drop dead. Like I'm too short to be over 200 pounds. I'm only 5'4", so I have to make a change. Anyways, I just want motivation. Want someone to, hopefully lots of you will actually see this video, but maybe you won't. And if not, that's okay. Don't know who I'm talking to specifically, but if anybody struggles with weight, if anybody's in their 40s, shout me out. If anybody has done fitness challenges, fitness competitions, anything where they were like hardcore and then they fell off, I'm here for you. Like, it is hard. It is really hard because think you always compare yourself to that person. You always look back at when you were 150, or for you, it could be 180, it could be 120, and you're like, how did I do that? I mean, gosh, I was like 106 in college, super small. And then it probably wasn't until my 30s that I ever hit above like 140, 145. But nonetheless, I did. And that was like an uncomfortable weight for me. And now to 200, here I am in my 40s saying like I'm almost at 200. So I just wanted to talk. I just wanted to tell you how I'm feeling. Hopefully I can show progress and post again, and I'll look different in a couple more weeks. But I'm going to take time in between posts just because I want to see the progress as I'm looking myself, and hopefully you'll see the same. But if anybody wants to do a challenge with me, like a 75 hard, or I don't know, just some kind of a wellness journey, I'm up for it. I love signing up for new things. And hopefully if you're in Cincinnati, or especially like the Lebanon area, come find me. Let's work out together, share stories, share successes. I'm open to that as well. But just wanted to put this out there. Hopefully it resonates with some people, and I will update you on my journey. See you later.